Hi there. Welcome to Transforming the World. This year we are studying a book called The Disciples Journal. It's a study of 52 different characteristics that should be found in the life of a Christian. And this week we are examining the Christian attribute of fairness. As I said earlier, as I said yesterday, fairness is something that we show. It's not something we demand from the world around us. By demonstrating fairness, we show that we love others as we love ourselves. That is a lesson that Peter needed to learn, and we'll examine that in just a moment. Stick around, I'll be right back. If you know anything about the Apostle Peter, this guy was a little bit headstrong, meaning that he had deep-held beliefs that could not be swayed. He would not sway on his deep-held beliefs at all. He was headstrong. He was confident in his beliefs as well. He was a good Jewish citizen. He knew the Jewish law very well. And this is evident by a conversation that he has with with a voice from heaven, and also with a man by the name of Cornelius. One day, while Peter was waiting for lunch, he went up to the rooftop to pray, waiting for lunch to be prepared. And as he's praying, he kind of goes into this trance, and he has this vision. In this vision, there's this picnic blanket that's lowered in front of him, and it's got all sorts of animals in it that, according to Jewish law, were considered unclean. These are the kind of animals you do not eat, like lizards, shrimp, pigs, that sort of stuff. These kind of animals were unclean to the Jewish law. Well, he heard a voice, and the voice said, "Peter, I want you to take and eat this." And Peter responds to this voice in this vision. He's like, no, these things are against the law. I have never eaten that kind of food, which is a demonstration that Peter knew the law very well. However, in this vision, the law basically comes along, not the law, but the voice comes along and says that he should not declare something unclean if God has made it clean. What God has cleansed, no longer consider unholy. Acts 10:15. Well, in this vision, Peter is taught a lesson. What God has cleansed, no longer consider unholy. And, Peter's trying to make sense about all of this. And eventually what ends up happening is he travels to the house of this Gentile, a non-Jewish individual. His name is Cornelius. He travels to his house and shares the message of Jesus. Now, Peter knows the law. Don't forget. Knowing the law, Peter says to Cornelius and the whole household, he says, "You know how unlawful it is for a Jew to enter a Gentile home like this or to even associate with you." But then Peter goes on and he says this, "But God has shown me that I should no longer think of anyone as impure or unclean." That's verse 28 of Acts 10. And during his conversation with Cornelius, Peter finally realizes that God shows no favoritism. In every nation he accepts those who fear him and do what is right. Verse 34 and 35 of Acts 10. Peter needed to learn that anyone can be made right with God through their faith in Jesus Christ. Verse 43 of Acts 10. Out of curiosity, do you show favoritism in your evangelistic efforts? Are there certain people that you feel are beyond being saved? Then you're not being fair, according to God's word, according to God's law. As Christians and as the church, we must never treat one type of person better than the other. And when sharing the good news of Jesus Christ, we must do so with fairness. God shows no favoritism, neither should we. We'll continue to look at fairness tomorrow on Transforming the World. Thanks for spending time with me today. My name is Pastor Greg.